Hey, joining us now on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline is a man who's familiar to the program. His name's Spencer Linton. Spencer, what's going on, man?
Hey, Jerem, life is good, my friend. Believe it or not, I am hanging out with @Gold Yeller.
Of course you are.
Jacobs, our Lego expert.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. How's his beard looking today?
Oh, fantastic. The beard looks healthy. He's got his Quebec Nordiques hat on, a throwback to the NHL team that used to be that is the Colorado Avalanche now. That's for you, Jerem. So, yeah,
thank
things
you.
are good.
Yep. I don't know. What was that? I don't even know. That was English
Brian's extremely lost right now. Let's move on. How was the Boise nightlife last night?
Well, let me tell you this. It's never a good idea when you need to use the restroom to just go wandering into random places.
Yeah.
And that happened a couple of years ago, so I'm happy to report that did not happen to me last night, and ended up eating at a place called The Ram. Watched the Cubs and the Dodgers play last night. A great experience.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a story there, and we're not going to tell it on the air.
Yeah, you just gotta make sure if you go
a couple years ago. Yeah, we're not telling them.
If you go into random places, you just gotta have a buddy with you, the buddy system, you know.
The Spuddy Buddy system.
Spuddy Buddy system.
Yeah.
Spuddy buddy.
Hey, it's the morning of game day. What's it like in Boise as they prepare for what is probably the biggest game of the season for the Broncos and BYU for that matter?
Yeah, it's hard to find a community that embraces their team more than Boise does for the Broncos. Everywhere you go, Boise State flags, Boise State shirts, hats, like they support their team as well as any college community really in the country. And they should. They have a top 15 program. They've won multiple big money bowl games. And so this is it's a big deal. Even last night, I had a BYU hat on, and I mean, the guy at the car rental agency said, "Hey, just so you know, it's an 8-hour wait for all BYU fans to pick up their car."
Shady.
So, yeah, they embrace their team. This is a big game. This is, in my opinion, the biggest game for them on their schedule. And we talked about yesterday that I think this is the biggest game that BYU will play all year. I know Boise State might not have the name brand of Michigan State, who went to the college football playoff last year, but this is the only team that is ranked when BYU has played them this season. And I think that will hold true the rest of the season.
Spencer, have you had a chance to talk to any of the fans besides that gentleman that gave you good customer service?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, they're friendly, but when it comes game time, it's all about, Boise State. They understand what they can accomplish this year. If they beat BYU, they're in a great position to make a serious run as another New Year's Six game as that auto qualifier G5. And so I've talked to a number of fans, not just the Enterprise rental agents.
Do they feel like this is a rivalry game?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. This is 2 years ago we called it a budding rivalry. It's a rivalry now because of things that have happened. The 7-6 game was a classic. Even going back to 2004, Matt Payne misses that game-winning field goal. That was a close game. Last year, Tanner Mangum's Hail Mary to Mitchell Juergens in the end zone. There have just been moments in this series that have really propelled it into rivalry status, and the regional ties as well. I kind of feel like Boise State in past the year 2000 has become what BYU was in the 80s and the early 90s, where they were the team in the mountain region that you need to worry about that's going to win some big games.
Yeah, and luckily BYU did it 2 decades before, so they actually cashed in on a national title. Otherwise, Boise State may have been in that position had it been flip-flopped. I think there are some winnable matchups for BYU, despite Boise State being so good. What are some of those, in your opinion, where BYU could win this game?
Well, if BYU can start to find some more rhythm in the passing game, I think that there are some deficiencies in the Boise State secondary. They're still formidable, so don't get me wrong there, but I think if Ty Detmer, the offensive coordinator, can work with Taysom Hill to find some spots in that Boise State secondary, there will be opportunities for BYU in the pass game because they've studied film on Jamal Williams. They know what's going to happen. They won't be afraid to put 7 or 8 in the box and force BYU to beat them with the throw. It's exactly what Mississippi State did. Michigan State tried to do that. BYU just overpowered them. So Boise State will test BYU and say, hey, if you can beat us with Taysom Hill's arm, then go ahead and do that. But we're not going to buy into that until we see it.
So, Spencer, with that being said, what do you expect from Jamal Williams tonight?
I think he'll have a workmanlike performance. He'll grind out over 100 yards, but I think Boise State's defensive front is, up for the task. Jamal's going to get his yards, and like I said, I'd say 110 or 115, but he's going to have to work hard for that. I really feel like Boise State's going to pack things up in the middle and make him work hard for that, and they will challenge BYU. They will allow them to try and beat them with the downfield passing game. And so I think that's where the opportunity will be for BYU to maybe strike some big plays.
Since we're talking about Jamal Williams, I believe we have some music to play.
On his way to continued BYU football immortality, Jamal Williams is now chasing Staley on BYU Sports Nation.
Jamal Williams needs 641 yards to pass Luke Staley's single-season rushing record of 1582. Spencer, I'm with you. I think he'll have 100 yards rushing tonight. I think he might need a 150 kind of performance for BYU to win, but I said one of my keys to victory, and we'll get you going for 2 picks here in a sec, but one of my keys to victory was turnovers. Boise State doesn't turn it over a lot, but they haven't created a lot of turnovers. In fact, Kainakua has twice the amount of turnovers created than Boise State has takeaways this year.
Why'd you laugh on that one?
Because it's only 3.
That's an amazing statistic right there. I mean, and if anybody understands what Kainakua can do, it's Boise State last year. I mean, he had 3 interceptions, and he housed that last play, which became one of the iconic moments for BYU in that game. There were 2 back-to-back plays in the last 2 minutes of that game that are just unforgettable. So that is crazy. And if BYU is going to win this game, they have got to be plus in the turnover margin. I don't see any other way that they can win on the blue against a team that's 99-6 at home since 2000.
That's pretty good. Let's get you going for 2 picks. We will share ours coming up in a few minutes. But what are your going for 2 picks, Spender?
Number 1, and I alluded to this a little bit ago, if BYU is going to strike a big play, it will be in the pass game, and I think that they will find some success with Jonah Trineman and or Nick Kurtz, or maybe sneaking Jamal Williams out of the backfield on the blitz, and I think they're going to have 2 40-plus yard plays, explosive plays via the pass game.
Oh,
and that's
via
bold.
the pass.
I took some trash from you guys over the past few weeks about not being bold enough with these. Mm-hmm. So I'm going with 2 40-plus plays. I think that BYU will be able to strike those.
Wow.
And then secondly, you mentioned that Boise State hasn't turned the ball over a ton. They're very good at ball protection. I think BYU is +2 in the turnover margin. So how's that for bold?
Yeah, that's
good. That's good.
That's
Listen
good,
to Brian.
That's bold. I would need some red Kool-Aid for that one. To take that boldness back a little bit. So I appreciate you.
Just for a reference for people, BYU has 1 pass play of 40+ yards this year.
Exactly.
BYU is one of the worst in the country. There's like 8 teams that have that don't have 2+, and BYU is one of them right now. And the +2 in the turnover margin, yeah, I like that one a lot. Mine's along those lines, but we'll tell you ours coming up.
If you would have said BYU would have had 2 40+ passing plays, and then maybe named a specific receiver like Jonah, and then said that on one of those passing plays would have turned into a touchdown like in the 4th quarter under 8 minutes, that would have been bold, my friend.
Yes, Brian, but I don't use sorcery and wizardry like that. Okay?
Hey, man, you know what? I am a man of God, so the spirit that I feel, man, is the Holy Spirit, man. I can't say it's anything else,
Okay.
I'm scared of like Ouija boards and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of weird, okay, so Boise State's going blue on blue on blue on the blue. Your thoughts?
I think that you should use any and every competitive advantage you can. If you got the blue turf and you can go all blue, it looks sharp, and it's harder to see the players. It's like when Oregon went all green on green on green. And Eastern Washington has done the red thing on their red turf up in the Northwest. And so if you can do it and it looks good and it's advantageous, why not?
Green. Nobody really can say anything about green on green.
I'm just jealous, I guess.
I wouldn't be jealous. I'd be mad. I can't see nothing, ref.
we want BYU to be able to do something like that, but that's one of the things that makes Boise unique.
If Kalani really loves Royal, he'll get a Royal field.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
that
talk.
might be going too far.
Yeah, you've spoken with Kalani Sitake and several of the players in the lead up for Countdown to Kickoff this week. What did you learn from those conversations?
That BYU understands the opportunity that lies ahead of them, and they are genuinely excited about trying to do something that they, have never done. BYU 0-3 playing at Boise all time, and they sense the opportunity to go up and beat a top 15 team. And we went over this yesterday with our stat of the day. BYU obviously has not beaten a top 15 team on the road since 1997. And I had somebody tweet me and say, yeah, but how many teams have they played that have been in the top 15 on the road? And it's more than 10. Like, they have had ample opportunities to go and get these big road wins. So they sense the opportunity. And when I asked Kalani about it, he got this kind of funny wry smile on his face, and he's like, we're excited about going to a place that not a ton of teams can get a win against a very good team. And so he feels like the pressure is on Boise State because they're on their home field and because they know what's on the line with the New Year's Six implications and being that G5 auto bid team. He just wants his team to play relaxed and loose and kind of live in the moment, enjoy the experience of playing on a Thursday night with a ton of eyeballs on ESPN. This game will garner a ton of interest because of what's happened between BYU and Boise State in the recent past. And this is a team that features two, exciting brand type teams. BYU, in that they play a close game every week, and Boise State, that they have a prolific offense, and it's just unique to watch on the Blues. So they are all across the board really excited and feeling that they're opportunistic tonight against Boise State.
Well, it should be a fun game. We look forward to seeing that selfie with Spuddy Buddy and, of course, hearing from you on Countdown to Kickoff tonight. Enjoy the day. Tell at Gold Yeller hello for us.
We will do that, and he's got some more good stuff on the way. I can promise you that. And
awesome.
Oh, by the way, no worries. After the game's over tonight, I'm going right back to the hotel room. No wandering downtown.
No.
Yes.
No. Just unless you're bringing Spuddy Buddy with you.
He'll protect me.
We still have it. He'll protect you. Okay. Wow. Okay. We still have to find him in the studio. Thanks, Spencer. We'll talk to you tonight.
You got it. Thanks, guys.